Hey guys, Christy here from DaSilva Life and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome, first of all, and get ready to learn all about systems, organization, ClickUp, HoneyBook, all the things. If you're looking to seriously organize your business and learn how to use these incredible softwares we totally love, go ahead and like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a video. So today we are going to be talking about one of ClickUp's most amazing features, yet I feel like so many people don't utilize it because they don't even know what the heck they're for. That is custom fields. So first I'm going to go over what custom fields are, how they're different than general columns, and then how we can actually take Google, Spreadsheets, Excel, whatever it is, and map the same thing in ClickUp with custom fields. Now, something I hear often is people are very attached to their spreadsheets, and I get it. And some things are actually better in spreadsheets with their more advanced formulas. But what I will say is a spreadsheet is not a project management tool. With team communication and collaboration is where ClickUp really sets themselves apart with the different automations, all the things I cannot wait to show you. So today in this video, I'm going to show you how to map out a Google Sheet into ClickUp and then put it in a beautiful dashboard as well, and how you can set different automations within ClickUp to be able to get your team on board with what exactly they need to do, what they need from you, etc. Now, before we dive in, I want to let you know, if you are just getting into ClickUp and there are still the basic things that you're not totally clear on, I want you to go ahead and download our free ClickUp 101 guide. This is going to give you the basics of ClickUp as you're diving in and just getting started. Okay, I'm so excited to dive in, so let's start with what custom fields actually are. All right, so before we dive into going through this budgeting template and showing you how we can make this template from a budgeting spreadsheet, living in ClickUp, and eventually looking like this beautiful dashboard, I first want to just give a quick intro to custom fields. So let me go ahead and in this tutorial space, I'm just going to create a new list and I'm going to name it list. When you create a new list, it's going to default to a list with just these standard columns here. So now if I write a task like check emails, you'll see you can see assignee, due date, and priority. Now, when you see in standard expenses or bills, if I go into the list, you can see that there are all these other things here like charge date, cost, category, paid with, etc. These are all custom fields. So just taking a note of column versus custom fields. With columns, if you click this plus, on this show/hide, you're going to see any standard items that are going to be living within your tasks. For example, if I want to go ahead and see comments on the outside, or maybe I want to go ahead and see the date it was created, you can pull these and they're automatically going to fill. So if you see, if I go into this task, when I write a comment in here and then I click out, now I'm going to see, okay, there's one comment on this task. Another thing is once you start creating custom fields, any that are living within the task are going to also be at the bottom, and I'll show you that in a second. So just to differentiate, this show/hide is going to be anything that is standard and automatic from these tasks. Now getting into custom fields, this is what makes these tasks super fancy like a spreadsheet and brings out any information that you want to add to this task. For example, maybe you want to put a link to something. So you can add a website and then let's say we just say this is going to be link. And then you go ahead and you can put the link to your Gmail account. So if I went and say this is my Gmail and I paste it in here, now when I go ahead and click this, it's automatically going to open up to that link. So say I wanted to check in on my Facebook group every day, and on Facebook group, I can go ahead and also put that Facebook group link in here. And every time I go to do this task, I have the link handy right there. Now you're going to see other things here in custom fields. We have drop downs, ratings, text areas, websites, dates, checkboxes, so many amazing things that we can build out with ClickUp with the use of custom fields. I'm going to show you some real life examples of building that out within this budget template. So hang with me 1 second. I just wanted to explain the differences between standard columns and then custom fields. Okay, now that you have a better sense of what custom fields are, let's go ahead and work on taking this Google Sheet and mapping it into a ClickUp table. Okay, so now let me go ahead and show you how we can build out this budgeting spreadsheet into ClickUp using custom fields. So let's go back to this list and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make it look exactly like this one. So we're here, right? I'm going to go ahead and show you that if you want to go ahead and hide any of these columns, you can go ahead and hide them. So I'm going to go ahead and hide every single one here. And then another note is, even though it's hidden, if I ever want to bring it back, you can show / hide any of those standard things. And then if I scroll all the way down, that's where you'll see this custom field is living. It will also be living inside the task within this section right here. I can always add or edit these fields and go ahead and delete this custom field entirely from this list, or I can do that outside of the list as well. So I can go ahead, click on this column, click delete, remove from list, and now it is no longer within my list. Okay, so now let's go ahead and build out this spreadsheet. I'm actually going to build out the bills one, and then you'll be able to see the standard expenses one as well. Okay, so starting with this list, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a table view so we can see this in table view and it's really mimicking a spreadsheet. If I go back, we'll see bill name is the first column. Now I'm actually just going to have that as the task name and keep that as the first column in the row. Next, I added this table, so I'm just going to go ahead and hide these columns because they don't really make sense for what I'm trying to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a charge date. So note, for the standard expenses one, I actually added a date custom field here because this is going to be a monthly spreadsheet, but the bills one I just have as a standard list. So I actually added this charge date as a short text field. So how you do that is you just click plus, add new, short text, and then you say charge date. Now I can go ahead and I can add those in there. So let's actually change this as well. So I'll put Slack Pro. I'm going to change this task name, and then let's do Dropbox. So now you can just put, okay, these are charged on the 1st. You can go ahead and also change these column widths whenever you want. Okay, now we have the cost. So here we are going to do a money field. So we'll do a money custom field and we'll put charge cost. Now you can go ahead and you can add in $26.13 and $12. I'm going to show you something really cool on the list view as well for these. Then we have a drop down. So here we have a category, business and personal. Getting into these custom fields, I want to let you know for this, you can either use a drop down or a label, but there is a difference between these two. So just giving you a quick lesson on these two. A label is going to be when you can select multiple things. So for here, you can see the example is social. You can choose Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram if you are taking that task and spreading it across those platforms. Dropdown is a select one. So for this case, it's going to be a select one. So I'm going to do category and put business, enter personal. And here I'm also going to add some colors just to make it fun. And add that column. then you can go ahead and check those drop downs. Next, paid with. So here we have Chase Freedom, business checking, personal checking, cash, and check. So again, I'm going to do a drop down because you can only do one of those options. And then I'm going to do Chase Freedom, business checking, personal checking, cash, and check. For these, I won't add colors. I'll just have them be text fields. So here we have both the top ones are business checking. You can always go back and edit these columns, edit this field by clicking Edit Field, and then you can add new options, drag them around, add colors, delete fields, etc. Then we have auto pay. So with ClickUp, we also have checkboxes. You could either do a drop down and put yes or no, but for this one, I just wanted to do a checkbox. So we have auto pay, add the column, and then you can easily check or uncheck. For these, they are both auto pay. And then for the occurrence, I'm actually going to add this as a drop down as well. And then we'll do monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, and annually. Add column, and then you can choose whichever one that applies to. And then we had fixed / varied and notes. So we're almost done. So we have fixed / varied. Let's do a drop down. Add column, and then you can choose for these. And then the last one is just a notes field. So if you're ever adding a notes field, I always do a long text field. So you'll see when you slide over and open this up, it's actually just gonna be this nice text box. So you can put anything here. So say for Slack Pro, you could be like, currently have for team members, it is $8 per member. Or you can have something, I use these often when I have something that is just a subscription for say 6 months. I'll say this is ending on X date. So we did it. We built out this table with all these custom fields. You can see the power that it has here. And then I want to show you something really cool in list view. So if we go into list view, you'll see, okay, now these are totally blank. We just have the name here. If I wanted to go and add any of these custom fields to the list view, I can go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna put charge date and charge cost. And then what you can see is with money or number fields, you can actually use calculations here. So if you hover over the bottom, you can do the sum, average, or range. So if I click sum and press calculate, it's gonna tell me the total of my bills here. Another cool thing you can do is you can use filters. So say I just wanted to know, filter out what it was paid with. So say I wanted to see anything that was paid with business checking, these two would pop up. But say I had another charge and this was $15 and I used Chase Freedom. You can go ahead and you can filter out that information and say paid with Chase Freedom. And then that's just gonna filter out that information. You can auto save this to stick like that. And then if I go and clear that filter, you can also do cool things with grouping. So here you'll see this is just grouped by status. They're all under one. But if I wanna go ahead and group by the custom field paid with, then I'll be able to see how many bills are getting charged to that specific form of payment. So a couple cool things you can do there, but I hope this portion was helpful with just showing you how we can put these custom fields here, actually put it in a table view. When bringing it into a list view, you can do some cool things with it like summing that, but you can just pull the information that you want. And if we click into one of these, you'll see all of the custom field filled out here. And if there's anything empty, it will just stay hidden right there. So now let me show you through the standard expenses list, which would be where you're tracking every single thing that you do. Now, this is an example of a template, of a budgeting template that is like you are really trying to track where every single dollar is going. But it really just gives a great example of the use of custom fields and building out this type of spreadsheet feel. So here's the standard expenses list where you can see in the Google Sheet. Here we have the name, cost, charge date, category, paid with, and then the monthly totals. We're going to take these monthly totals in the list view, but then also in this dashboard. So I will show you that. So here in the yearly spending, this will actually be grouped by the custom field month. And you can see how that did that with grouping so that you can see all of the different charges there. And then when we go into each and every individual view, it's going to be filtered out where the month is, whatever that month is. So then when you come in here, you'll be able to track your weekly spending, the cost, the charge date. So this is a date custom field. You'll put that exact date that was actually charged. Category, and again, you can always add/edit the options here. The week of the month, what it was paid with, and then the month that you were currently in. So when you see this filter, right, the month is January. Well, I haven't tracked any expenses for February, so that's not showing up anything in the February. But once I go ahead and take a charge and put it into February, then you'll see that charge will then show up in there. Now you can scroll all the way to the end where you'll see I did the monthly totals as well. And so this is being grouped by the custom field month. I took out the custom fields charge date, cost, and month. So now I can see my monthly totals for January, February, and then as I add to this, those will show up there as well. So now let's go through this dashboard. Now, if you're unfamiliar with dashboards, I have an amazing ClickUp Dashboards YouTube video I will link it in the description below, of standard dashboard widgets and how I have built this out. Now, what I want to do on here is go through the widgets and show you how I have actually added this information from my budget tracker to show up like this. Okay, so let me give you a breakdown of what these widgets are. On the left here, we have calculation widgets. So this is calculating the sums and the totals of all of the monthly spending and all of the weeks. Then we have two pie charts. So I can see my purchases by category and my weekly breakdown. Then I have the monthly spending breakdown so I can see, okay, what were all my charges this month? If you want to put a monthly budget that you're shooting for, you can put that here in a text block. And then I have my personal bills, business bills, and then any notes. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some tips and just walk you through this dashboard. So here we have monthly total spending. I told you you just click add widget and then calculation. And when I open up this widget, you'll be able to see the different settings. So I took this from my standard expenses list. I made sure that I'm pulling in the custom field cost and I'm summing it in US dollars. Then that is it. I named it this month's total spending. And I'm actually going to add a filter on here as well. And I'm going to say that the charge date is this month. So then I'm going to save this, and that's going to stay the same because I have this in January. Now for week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'm actually going to have to add a filter for these as well, that the charge date, so let me pull that, is this month. And I added a filter that the custom field week is week 1. After I went ahead and did the week 1, let me actually show you just a really quick tip to make your life easier so you don't have to be redoing these widgets every time. What I did was I went ahead and I clicked duplicate. I changed this to week 2 spending, and then I changed the filter that this is just week 2. And then it's gonna pull up the information. So again, I'll show you that one more time, and you can do this all the way through week 5. I did week 3, and then I just changed the drop down to week 3. So super easy way to save time when building out these widgets. For this pie chart, I added the widget custom pie chart. Now, let me also give you a disclaimer here. If you're wanting to do custom widgets like charts and things like that, it is gonna require that you have the business plan. I do have a promo code. If you just put DaSilva Life, you can get 20% off your subscription. So I'm gonna go ahead and see. So we named it purchases by category. The location is standard expenses, grouped by category, the drop-down category. Value is the money field cost. And then I just put the task filter that the charge date is this month. So now it is breaking up all of my expenses into the different categories. So I can see, okay, I spent a lot on travel this month. When I hover over it, I'm able to see exactly how much I spent. So 119 eating out, 800 on travel, etc. Same thing with the weekly breakdown. You'll see that the filter, the charge date is this month, and these are the settings. So instead of grouping it by category, I'm actually just grouping it by week so I can see, okay, whoa, I really overdid it in week 1. Why was that? Okay, because I booked that travel in week 1. I could see that right here in the monthly spending breakdown. Then if I open this up, you'll see this is just a task list with the location. I group it by week. And the task filter is that the charge date is this month. This is just a notes field, and I made it heading 1 bold with the font color, the background color as yellow. Then the personal and business bills. This is the location bills, pulling in the field cost and summing those costs. And then I just have the filter where the category is personal. So after I made this one, I went ahead and I just duplicated it. And then I went in here and I just changed the filter to be business. And then lastly, we just have the notes block. So this is just a really beautiful way to take everything in my budget template folder and put it in a monthly dashboard view for me to easily see my numbers and where I'm at. So you might be thinking, okay, Christy, this is great. I really like it. The budgeting is great, but what about when it comes to my business and managing my team? So let me show you how I map out a content calendar in ClickUp and then utilize automations to make sure everyone knows what they have to do at any given time. So now let's go through this social media planner example where I can show you a really cool feature when it comes to team collaboration. So here we have our content table, right? Where a lot of people, including myself, love to plan out their content in a table just so you can see the images right at a glance. You can plan your captions and put any information you want in this nice visual spreadsheet type of feel. You can also see that I have an active content list as well, so I can see kind of a pipeline of where all of my pieces of content stand. So if I go to the content table, you'll be able to see, okay, here are all the different statuses of where everything is. In the active content, you'll also see assignees. I can also pull in, if I wanted to, assignees and comments into the table. So those would be in here as well. So something really cool I wanted to show you is the use of automations when it comes to using ClickUp. This really puts that leg above using Google Spreadsheets because you're able to save time and energy wondering where things are. So for example, say my team is working on content, right? And I don't do every single piece of my content myself. My team definitely helps me collaborate on this. Well, say someone sets something to ready for review, and I am the person that reviews that. Well, if you click into automations, you'll be able to see this automation that I created that when the status changes to ready for review, it reassigns me and changes the due date to that trigger date. So now if you'll see, I go ahead and put this SOPs first workflow into ready for review. It's now going to assign me with a due date of today. And if you'll see that here as well, now this is going to pop up on my overall calendar and I'll know that I could just click in here. This is ready for review. I'll check it out. If I want to click on the image, I can see it there and then I can add any comments directly to the image. So I can say change font here or anything that I need to do. And then I can go ahead and say, okay, this needs edits. Then I can set up automations where when it sends to needs edits, it reassigns my social media manager and puts a new due date of 1 day later. So you can just get a glimpse here of the power that ClickUp has with automations to make sure that everything is getting taken care of. You know exactly where each piece of content stands. So now you'll see, okay, I have 2 tasks waiting for edits, 1 ready to schedule, 1 scheduled, 1 published, etc. So really great way to be able to utilize these custom fields here. You can see all the different ones that I have up here to really make this content calendar my own, but also really be able to manage this project as efficiently as possible. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful to you, that you got to see the power of custom fields within ClickUp and a couple tips on how you can map out your specific spreadsheets, your workflows, your content creation process into ClickUp to work for you and automate as much as possible. And if you loved the budgeting template that was featured at the beginning of this video, good news, we have that exact template to download straight into your ClickUp in our product shop. And for the first time ever, we are actually giving an exclusive coupon just for our YouTube viewers. If you want to grab the template, you can use the code YouTube for 10% off your total purchase. So I hope you like this video. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any organization and systems content in your life. Thanks for watching.